So this presentation is Scam Prevention for Seniors. And this is attorney Leah Pollard from the Connecticut Legal Services. This last presentation is being sponsored by CHR, which is Community Health Resources, who we'd like to thank for being one of our gold sponsors. Attorney Pollard and CHR are right in this room if you have any questions afterwards. So Attorney Pollard has been a practicing attorney for over 31 years. Her experience includes practicing for the Miami-Dade Department of Children and Families, Virginia Legal Aid Society, and as a solo practitioner. Leah spent 17 years serving as the probate judge for the Northeast Probate Court and 12 years as the administrative law judge of the Northeast Regional Children's Court. That must be hard. For the past 2 years, Attorney Pollard has been an elder law attorney for Connecticut Legal Services. She represents low-income seniors with various legal issues. A major part of her practice involves assisting seniors who have been the victims of scams. Attorney Pollard is from Connecticut and received her bachelor's degree from UConn, go UConn, and her law degree from the University of Colorado. May I present Attorney Pollard?
So, thank you for all coming today. Has anybody heard of scams? So I read a stat this morning that said 98% of Americans have been contacted in the last week for a scam. 98%. And then we wonder how people get scammed. It's incessant. I'm sure you see it. Phone calls, texts, emails, knocks on the door. It's just a constant problem. And so my colleague and I were both elder law attorneys for Eastern Connecticut, and we started going to all the senior centers and anywhere we could find groups of seniors to start talking about scams. And we would start explaining all the various scams. There's so many types. And we realized two things pretty fast. We couldn't keep up with how many scams there were. I could stand here for 6 hours telling you about different scams and still not have hit them all. And the seniors that were going to the senior centers were probably not the ones getting scammed, right? They're out and about. They're telling me about the scams. So I designed a program that I'm going to tell you about in a little bit that hopefully you can take from here. I'm going to give you as many as you need because you might not be the ones who need it, but you might know seniors who are really vulnerable. I think I heard you say you don't answer your phone anymore. First thing I tell my clients, stop answering the phone. Stop opening your mail that you don't know. So don't answer the phone because if you don't know who it is, it's probably a scammer. And if you know who it is, you're going to hear their voice on the answering machine, then pick it up, right? Why do seniors get scammed more than other age groups? Because they answer their phones and they open their mail. I have 3 kids in their 20s. They do not answer the phone and they do not open their mail. So they just get scandalous. So while I was sitting out there, I was looking up some numbers. I'm just coming over here because that light is so bright. In 2024, $12.5 billion was reported scammed in this country. But when the FTC looked at it, they actually estimated at $158.3 billion because it goes so unreported because people are embarrassed when they get scammed. So $158.3 billion. That's an amazing amount of money. $5 billion is reported from seniors. So if you extrapolate that out, that's more like $40 billion from seniors, who usually don't have a lot of, my clients don't have much income, and they still get scammed out of everything. So those numbers are shocking. And the 3 most common scams, really the ones that people lose the most money on, AI-generated scams from banks. You'll get a phone call. It's an AI voice. You're going to think it's a real person calling from your local bank. Can you just confirm your account number for me, Mrs. Jones? Oh, okay. They sound legit. People give away their bank information and they're done. The second area, which shocks a lot of people, are the romance scams. They're very, very prevalent. They're probably the worst scams I see because people end up giving away all their money because they're lonely, and the scammers are very, very good. They really play on our emotions, and Facebook is the biggest way they find them. And then the third is investment scams. And those are the ones where you'll see that are really too good to be true, but people lose tens of thousands of dollars every day in those scams. So the frustrating part, again, was I would sit with my clients and I would tell them, don't answer the phone. Okay, I won't answer the phone. The phone would ring. They'd pick up the phone. We're just trained, right? Anyone over the age of 50 is trained to pick up that phone every time. We almost can't resist, but I'm telling you, if you have friends that are susceptible, that's the #1 way they get to you. Yeah, you can't help it. I just got a call last week that I did answer, shockingly, but it was a woman who was insisting to me that her roofing company was coming by the next day to look at the roofs in our area. I said, I don't need you to come up my driveway. No, we'll be there. It's a service. I said, do not come up my driveway. No, we're coming. I said, if you come up my driveway, I'm going to call 911. So they didn't. But if I was a vulnerable senior or just a nicer person, okay. And then next thing you know, they're knocking on my door. Hey, you have a lot of damage. It's about to fall in. You better sign this contract right now. They sign it and they're done. So how can I get to all these seniors and keep them up to date on the scams? The final straw for me was, I don't know if you've heard of debt consolidation scams. So you'll see them advertised. If you have a lot of credit card debt or other debt, call us. And when you call them, a very charming young man or young woman will come to your home and explain to you how they're going to take all your credit card debt. They're going to consolidate it. They're going to talk the creditors down. All you have to do is sign this contract. They're going to pull $500 a month out of your bank account, and they're going to pay off all of these credit cards in 3 years. Sounds good. Had a call from a very nice woman, very on the ball. She had signed one of these because she was about $25,000 in debt. So they pulled the first amount out, and she got smart, and she thought, And she started talking to her sister and explaining what they had told her. And she said, as the words are coming out of my mouth to my sister, I'm realizing I got scammed. This is too good to be true. And sure enough, it was. When she came to my office and showed me the contract said they were going to take $500 a month, but it never said they were going to pay off her creditors with it. So they had switched all her credit card bills to an address in Omaha. They had, with a different, like their name on it, whatever, debt consolidation is us. They were going to pull $500 a month for 3 years, and after the 3 years, she probably would have had judgments against her, and she still would have owed all that money. How could I help her? I got her out of the contract, but I couldn't get the $500 back. And if she figured it out a year later, I couldn't have gotten any of that back. And it occurred to me that most people, if you have to tell someone else the deal they offered you, or you told someone else, my bank called and made me confirm the number, or Medicare called and had me tell them the number, as soon as you explain it to someone else, most people, oh, that's a scam, right? And the 20% who will, they're very susceptible people out there, they're never going to get it. So how can we stop this? So this is what I developed. This is an obnoxious refrigerator magnet. It's nice and big. And you take a Sharpie and you talk to the senior you're working with and you say, who do you trust more than anyone in the world? Your daughter, your sister, your priest, whoever, who is it? You write their name on it in Sharpie and their phone number. You stick it on the refrigerator. And then I have another sheet I'll show you. Anytime someone calls you, emails you, texts you, or knocks on the door and they want money, information, or you to sign a contract, check first. Call your person. Talk it through with them. Talk it through with them. Tell your sister about the deal they just offered you. Tell your sister why. I use Jennifer Aniston a lot. She's a big one that we have a lot of male clients who are sending her gift cards all the time. It's a scam. Call your sister and explain it to her. Most people are gonna go, oh, it's a scam. And if not, your sister's gonna talk some sense into you. That's a scam. And if she can't, she's gonna call, we have resource numbers, and they're gonna talk you out of it. But it's just a real simple way. Check first. If they want money, information, or you to sign a contract, stop. Think about it. Check with your person. Sounds really simple, right? Because I cannot get to every senior and explain every scam. I can't do it. But I can make them stop and think about it. Because usually if you just give it some thought, or explain it to someone you trust, you're going to realize it's a bogus deal. So, I'll give you as many of these as you want. This is the sheet I give to the seniors. It's very simple. It says what I just said. Money, information, or sign a contract, check first. And then every day they see this obnoxious magnet on the refrigerator, so they're constantly reminded of it. And I've been told it gets ingrained in their heads. And they finally check first, got it? My favorite story was one of the women I work with, her mom's a senior, and she had explained this program to her. She didn't have the magnet, but she told her about the program. 2 weeks later, her mother calls her and says, "You're not gonna believe what just happened. I got a call. They said my grandson has been arrested and that he's here, and if I don't send money right away," you've all heard this scam, right? But the scammers are good. They scare people. They get them frantic. She's like, I was almost falling for it. She said, and then I remembered that check first program you talked about, and I thought, oh, this is a scam. My colleague said, "Mom, that's great you thought of it. Didn't it occur to you that you don't have a grandson first?" And she said, "No, actually the woman had me so panicked, I didn't even think about the fact that I didn't have a grandson. She was ready to send money for someone that didn't even exist." So they're very good at scamming you. They use charm in romance scams. They use fear in those kind of scams. And with AI, it's only going to get worse, right? So I could take any one of your names right now, and I am not tech savvy. In 15 minutes, I can tell you where you live, what your birthday is, your work history, where you lived in the past 25 years, your phone numbers. I will find your Facebook page, even if you've made it private. I'll be able to tell you relatives and just go from there. We put too much information out there. You know, an easy way to scam somebody, if I get on your Facebook page and you put up, "Hey, I just had my 55th birthday party with my family, and it's a nice picture of you cutting into the cake," right? I get on your Facebook page, I know when your birthday is, I see how much family you have, so when I call you and I use my fake AI voice of your grandson, I'm gonna say, "I loved the chocolate cake we had at your birthday party last week," right? And you probably put other details there, and I'm in. You're gonna believe it in a minute, right? It's just too easy. That's how they get with romance scams too. They get on their Facebook pages and they'll see, my biggest client, she sold hot dollar jewelry, sold her car, sold everything, maxed out credit cards. This scammer had her, he's over in Africa somewhere, had her open new credit cards, open new bank accounts. She's sending money over to Qatar. She was about to get evicted when someone hooked her up with us, and I was able to stop the eviction, but everything else was gone. There was nothing I could do about it. She'd been sending money to what she thought was an American general stationed in Afghanistan. Even after I started working with her, she was sending him her last pennies because he was supposed to come back here and marry her. She was a smart cookie. She had been in a big corporation, pretty high up in HR. So she Googled him. She found 15 pictures and write-ups of him. He was a legit American general. He wasn't in Afghanistan. Very handsome man. He'd sent her tons of pictures. His image has been used about 5,000 times for scams because he was a very good-looking older general. Lots of pictures out there for what he did for the army. They use him all the time. How do you stop that? Well, she still calls me. Every time she gets a letter or anything, I'm her check first person. I probably hear from her once a week because she's just susceptible. So, questions? I'm always confused with what exactly catfishing is, but it could be. Yeah, because she never met him. And she never talked to him on the phone. It was all done through, if anyone wants you to use WhatsApp, Signal, and there's one more that I can't think of, run. It's always a scam. That's where the scammers go. So, anyone have any questions or comments? Best advice I can give you, don't answer your phone. The second piece of advice I'll give, especially with AI coming, that they will be able to call and fake a relative's voice very easily. They just need a little snippet to do it. Have a safe word in your family. So talk to all your family members and say, okay, what's our safe words? If I get a call from a grandson or a child or whoever, when they ask for money, in the voice that you recognize as their voice. So if they're asking for money, information, or sign a contract, what's the safe word? Remember the numbers I gave you of how many billion are actually lost, how underreported it is? Because people are embarrassed they got scammed. And nobody should be embarrassed. I see them all the time. These scammers are excellent at what they do. They really are so good that people fall for them all the time. I have almost fallen for one. I do this for a living, but I was not paying attention. I put something out on Facebook Marketplace for free. So it didn't occur to me anyone would scam me. Next thing I know, they called. It was a piano I was trying to get rid of. How many steps to your house? Okay, normal questions. Okay, we're gonna come look at it tomorrow. I'm gonna send, so what's your cell phone number? And I actually gave it out, and I know better. Gave it out, and then she said, okay, well, we'll text you right before we get to your house. Okay. I'm gonna send you a code real quick, and that's gonna let your phone know what my phone number is. And that's when I'm like, oh my God. So if I had done that, if she sent the code and I put that code into my phone, she just unlocked my phone into everything. I don't know about you people, but I keep passwords on. I keep a lot of things in my phone. She would have been in my whole system. And I do this for a living. Never give out your cell phone number. I don't know what I was thinking. I just wanted the piano gone. Most don't, but some police departments in Connecticut are wonderful. They have detectives that really focus on this stuff. Some just don't have the manpower. And the police know that most scams, if you call them, there was one going around where it was your local police department calling you, right? So people are calling the police department saying, you know, they're scamming. There's nothing they can do about it. They can't stop that because that's all computer-driven random numbers. They know that most times they can't get the money back. So it's just one of those crimes. It's really hard to solve. So this sheet is what I give to the people who are like the trusted person that people pick that's not a family, you know, a family member knows the person, but this is more when librarians are asked to serve as trusted people, doctors, you know, someone that, because not all seniors have somebody in their family. So yes, there are resources. You can, if you really can't talk the person out of the scam, you can call your local police department. You can call legal services, and there's a whole list there of places you can call to refer the person to get them some assistance, whether it's during the scam or after the scam. There you go. So I live in northeastern Connecticut, and a friend of mine told me what happened to her father. So this is true. This is not one I heard on the internet. He's a very well-known man, well-respected, spent in the community his whole life, and he's in his early 80s. And he got a phone call that this person who works for the federal government, oh, thank you, sir, in a routine check, I don't know what, they found that someone had downloaded child pornography onto his laptop. And before they tried to, and this other group was going to release it to the public, this man had this on his laptop. But they could help him, but it was going to cost him $5,000. So as soon as he would get them the cash, they could start that. And he better do it right now, because you don't know when that group's going to release that information and tell everyone in this community you've lived your whole life that you have child pornography on your laptop. This is very scary, especially to men, right? That's terrifying. So he totally bought it hook, line, and sinker. So he's, trying to tell his wife, she's like, that's a scam. They're scamming you. That's not happening. Nope. And they're calling back, and have you got the money yet? Because we're really worried this is going to get released. It's going to ruin your reputation. Have you got the money yet? He runs out of the house, gets in his car, and drives to the bank. She has to jump in her car, chase him to the bank, calls 911 on the way, and basically has to tackle him in the parking lot of the bank to stop him from going in to get this cash. And the whole time he's hysterical, because he really thinks they're going to release to all the people he's grown up with that he's got this on his computer. So I was at a presentation 2 weeks later at a senior center, And one gentleman said, hang on a second, went up to his room and came back down and hands me an email he'd gotten, long, single-spaced, kind of the same thing. Nice at first, and then it gets very threatening, and we're going to release that you have child porn on your laptop unless you send us the money right now. And I said, what did you do? He said, I knew it was a scam. I said, good for you, because most people would have been terrified and would have paid whatever they asked. So that's a common one. And I think we don't hear about that because people are just too embarrassed to say that anyone would even accuse them of that, right? You're not going to even bring that up. But I wonder how many people got to the bank because their wife didn't tackle them in the parking lot and paid them off. Obviously it works, so they wouldn't keep doing it. So it's not just money. That can be that's a lot of emotional pain there too. I think he would have gladly given up the money if that never happened to him. So scams are no joke. And please never be embarrassed if you get scammed. Get help. See if someone can help you get your money back. You know, if someone calls you at the time from Social Security, we're seeing a little fraud, we think it's fraud in your account. We just want to confirm a few things. So they know your name, right? They've looked you up. Okay, so Mr. Joe Jones. So I have to see your name, and do you still live in Vernon? I do. Okay, why don't you confirm your Social Security number for me, and we'll see if this is really you. They have you, right? Because I can find out your birth date. That's easy. I can find out where you live and all that. Now I've got your Social Security number. Easy. I'm taking out credit cards in your name within 10 minutes. So that's identity theft in that sense. So anytime you're dealing with the federal government, you're fine if you know that's where it's going. So if you're doing a paper return, it's fine. It's going to go to the federal government. We hope they protect it. Just you're not going to give that out to anyone. The federal government will never call you. They just don't do that. So if they call you and ask for information, it's not them. How many of you have been to the dentist's office and you have to fill out the form and they ask for your Social Security number? Yeah. Doctors do it. And we fill it out, right? Because we're nice, compliant people. I tell my clients all the time, the dentist does not need to know your Social Security number, neither does your doctor. It has nothing to do with your health insurance. Dentists and doctors, especially dentists, don't have a secure computer system as the federal government. So if you're going to break into someone's system, you're going to break into the dentist system, and now I've got your Social Security number. But when they tell you we have to have it, you just say no. And you can tell them my lawyer said I do not have to fill that out, because you don't. They don't need to know it. So there are three main credit reporting agencies: Experian. Can't remember the other two. Everybody has the right to one free credit report every year from each of those three companies. So I counsel my clients just, I think it's annualcreditreport.com, and get your credit report every so often. They're free, and then you can just check and make sure no one's using your credit, doing anything bad there. That's the easiest way to stay on top of it. There are companies like LifeLock, I don't know much about them, that you can pay to watch your credit reports. But keep an eye on things, because it's just too easy.
So what do you do if somebody comes to you with a scam?
Depends what the scam is. So like the debt consolidation contract, that was a legal contract. It was a bad contract, but it was a legal contract. So I could help her break that contract, right? Couldn't get her money back, but I could break it before they took any more money. And she was smart enough, she'd already stopped the direct payment authorization. The romance scam, that the guy's somewhere in Africa and the money's going through Qatar, I couldn't do anything except convince her it was a scam and not to give him any more money. And I went to her local police. They were very nice. They really can't do anything. The FBI called me. We filled out an FBI report. They can't really do anything because these people are overseas. So it just depends on the scam. Roofing contracts, they're bogus. I can get them out of the contract. It just depends. Yeah. Sometimes you can't do anything. I think it's the most underreported one because people are embarrassed to admit it, but see, he told your brother. So you talk to one other person, and either you're gonna get it or they're gonna get it and convince you. It's just saying it out loud. Something about saying it out loud makes people realize it. And the romance scams too, When I started this job, I can't remember the last time I was out in public at a social event and I have someone kind of sidling up to me. My aunt's in a romance scam, what should I do? Like it's so pervasive that.
What type of clients, what clients you have? Independent or?
I'm not. I work for Connecticut Legal Services, so we're the largest nonprofit legal aid firm in the state. So we don't charge anything. We give free legal help to all ages, but you're under a certain income limit.
People who come to you.
So the people who come to me don't have much money, and they're still scammed.
System.
Yes. Well, hopefully.
Makes progress.
Rewarding and frustrating, which is why I started this check first, because I was very frustrated watching one senior after another come in and through no fault of their own, they've lost a lot of money and I wanted to stop it, and I can't get to every senior and explain every scam. There's not enough time in the day, there'll be 6 new ones tomorrow. But if I can get them to say it out loud to somebody before they do it, they probably will stop. It will stop. So, I mean, we all know somebody who's susceptible. Like my one client who calls me every week, and I sit and I talk to her, and Margaret, remember we talked about this, that these kinds of letters, they're not real. It's not really from your creditor. Oh, that's right. And she's a smart cookie. She just is very kind and believes everybody. So I think of people like her, and I thought, I sent her 3. I'm like, put 3 on your refrigerator. But we all know someone like that who falls for stuff. So please, and I mean this, take as many as you want. I've given the local senior centers have them. I've sent them to the libraries. If we can just get one senior to stop and think about it before they send out their life savings.
It's so hard.
It is. But it works. It works. You just have to, it's consistency, right? Money, information, sign a contract, check first.